What's up, love muffins? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 2, Episode 10 review. I give tonight's episode a B minus. It was cool. It gave me some life a little bit. Let's just start off with my favorite moments from tonight's episode. So we start off with Willie in the studio and he's playing his new song Freak, which was actually pretty dope. I actually liked it. It reminded me of something that Ty Dolla $ign would do. It felt like a Ty Dolla $ign track or whatever. And I liked it. It was dope. Because I don't see it really for real. So I like that song. Ray J and Richie Dollar come to the studio to see him. And I just noticed off the bat, these niggas was all color coordinated. All them niggas had on black and red. I'm like, did y'all niggas call each other like, girl, what you wearing? I'm wearing red and black. Okay, girl, I'm gonna wear mine too. It was very odd. Then we see Monice at the park with her son Cam and Fizz, and I'm like, thank God this bitch finally spend time with her goddamn baby. Like, hallelujah, there is a God. Pigs must be fucking flying. This bitch finally got done riding Rich dick long enough to go see about her goddamn son. So they at the park and they having a good old family day or whatever. And her and Fizz are sitting down talking, and he tells her that he sees a difference in her attitude now that she's spending more time with their son, and that he praises her for spending time with him. And I'm just like, Fizz, don't praise this bitch for doing what the fuck she's supposed to do. Like, get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. But okay, to each his own. Um and Fizz was looking real cute in that scene, by the way. Like, yes, I think he had on a tank top or something. I was like, let me just lick your underarm. Like, just let me lick on you. So he tells Monice that he wants to meet Rich, especially if they're getting serious, because he wants to know who's around his son, like any grown ass man would in his position. So I really like that about Fizz. And so she agrees to it. The next thing we see is Miles in the on the beach. He's created a picnic on the beach for him and Milan, and he basically says that he's been calling Milan over and over again, but Milan ain't been fucking with him, and ever since he put him out. And so Milan comes to the beach and they have a whole conversation about, they break up and how, everything went down between them. And Miles felt like Milan wasn't there for him when he needed him most, with him coming out to his family, and that he wasn't trying to understand what he was coming through, what he was going through. Now, let me give y'all some behind the scenes tea on this whole thing. So over the past week, it came out that allegedly Miles and Amber ass are supposed to be goddamn me cousins, and them motherfuckers ain't nowhere dated for real in real life. Now I'm gonna tell you something. When this shit broke early this week that it was going to be a gay couple on this show, something told me in my head. My head said, and I said, huh? That this shit was going to be a publicity stunt for the television, and that Mona and all these motherfuckers participated, pulled this shit together for ratings. Something told me that, but I said I'm gonna give these motherfuckers a benefit for the doubt. So here's the story. This is what it goes. This was on Famous Lust, the Instagram page, FAMEOLOUS. And they have a website too, famouslust.com. So a girl writes in and says, I'm 99% sure that Milan concocted the whole storyline because he always been thirsty for attention / fame. He got the story together and sold it to Miles and Amber, who also were looking for a come up. Then they sold it to Mona and VH1. Milan is an escort who rides around in his old white male client's Bentley and poses like it's his. The nigga lives in a basic apartment building in North Hollywood. LOL. He even leaked his own sex tape, bareback bottoming, which he did. I mean, that tape does exist. Miles is a known bottom, not a top, because he came at me on some I want some dick shit. The problem now that Miles is mad that Milan is mad that Miles became the hero because he supposedly came out on TV and he is not happy. Now he throwing the others under the bus and really himself too because he isn't the center of attention anymore. They are all to blame. So yeah, everything Milan and this dude say is true, but he is no victim. He's actually a messy queen who will do whatever to make it. And also, people have been going back and reading Miles and Amber's old tweets. And like I have a tweet here from some girl that said that tweeted them back in the day, that said going up for my cousin's B-Day at Sir Brock, that's Miles' Twitter handle, with my cousins, and then she adds Amber in this. And here is the tweet. And there's several more like this where even Amber is calling Miles her cousin. Nothing about them being in a relationship with one another, anything like that. So if this thing was all fraudulent and just for storylines, for ratings, shame on Mona, shame on Miles, shame on Milan, shame on Fab for all of this stupid ass bullshit, for wasting our whole entire time making a mockery out of the gay community, because that's some bullshit. And if I don't even want to talk about it no more. But fuck y'all, that's what y'all did for real. So going back to the story, Milan is happy that Miles wants to take him home to meet his family or whatever. He finally happy this nigga claiming him in public. And I'm like, okay, because I don't even know if y'all storyline true no more, so I don't even fucking care. So then we see Fizz. He goes to the strip club to see Nikki at one of the strip clubs that her and her family owns. And that whole storyline is so concocted and contrived, because I have a friend out there in LA who told me that that shit is just for show. And like I had already said, that they don't fuck around for real in real life. No way. And so he goes to the strip club pretending like they fucking, which we know they ain't. And they talking or whatever. And oh, some behind the scenes on Nikki is Nikki ass is back with Mally after he just released that sex tape on her ass a month ago, and after all of these allegations of him being a pimp and prostituting kids, young ladies, and doing drugs, sex trafficking and shit, and now they're saying she's even involved in the shit. Something going on with this young lady that she will continue to what's the word I'm looking for? Associate with somebody like him, like ew, like he looks like a sociopath. So now I'm looking at Nikki like, bitch, you ain't shit neither. I ain't feeling her ass neither no more, because all y'all just nasty and just ugh. So next thing we see as they're talking, Pierce's face comes out on the pole and gets to shaking her thing, because she been dying to pop her pussy for a real nigga and take all her clothes off and swirl around the pole and shit, have some swing around fun time. And she looking all in the camera like it's a music video, which lets us further know this shit ain't no fucking coincidence. She knew the cameras was gonna be there, and this shit was a whole fucking setup. This whole episode was a bunch of contrived, concocted, scripted shit. It didn't even look realistic, and I wasn't here for it, Mona Scott. You played yourself with this episode. That's why I don't like it. So let me take my rating back. I don't give it no goddamn B plus. Wrong. I forgot. Nigga, this episode gets an F. So after that, Monice and Rich are out in the park. They having a picnic. Everybody having a picnic this episode. So Monice tells Rich that it seems like they're already married, because they ain't been fucking for real no more. If that's what it means to feel like you married, okay. And the whole time she talking, he's looking at her like, man, I'm glad we wrap up shooting so I can take my ass back to New York. I'm so sick of pretending like I like this bitch. Like, oh my God, this bitch is fucking insane. Get me the fuck out of here. Why did I sign up for this shit? So she going on about them being a family and getting married and all this bullshit. And she tells him that Fizz wants to meet up with him to talk about his relationship with her and their son. And he feels like he's going to be interrogated once again. That's not what he came to LA for. He came to be with her. He didn't come here to prove himself to nobody. Well, nigga, this is what goes on in relationships when you're dealing with a woman with a child. You have to meet certain people and talk to certain people, because you can't just let any and everybody around your goddamn kid. So I want to hear for him that whole little conversation and his attitude and all that shit that he was giving. And Monice handled herself accordingly in that situation, where she stepped to him and said, well, if you don't want to meet up with my baby daddy about my son, then nigga, we don't need to be together. So kudos to you, Monice, for stepping up and finally acting like a goddamn mother. So then we see April with Omarion up at Big Boy at the morning show and shit. And she's ready to get in the limelight. She's ready to get on stage and, touch, touch. Like, she's ready to show that she got some moves, goddammit. And so she's basically steps to Omarion like, nigga, I want, my turn. It's time for me to get out there. I've been your champion, your cheerleader. When are you gonna back me? He's like, it's not time yet. I'm still working on my shit. I'm at the biggest time of my career. Give it a minute. You still need a lot that you need to do as far as getting comfortable on stage or singing and this and that. And I just feel like, yeah, I heard what he's saying, but at the end of the day, homegirl, you got to put your life out there too. You can't just be sitting up there letting your man do what he needs to do for himself, and then you sit just back just being Susie homemaker. Because if this nigga decide he don't want to be with you tomorrow, and you got this nigga kid, then what the fuck you gonna do? Okay, so she needs to get out there and start singing and doing whatever the fuck she gonna do for her goddamn self. Don't be waiting on this nigga to give you the okay for you to start your damn career. No, girl. And now she pregnant again with a whole nother baby. They about to have a little girl. So congratulations on that. So then we see Hazel, and she's meets up with Princess, and they're moving forward this whole fashion show. And I'm like, since when did Hazel become the chief captain of this whole thing? I thought this was Nikki and Tiara's show. Like, when did she become co-captain of this bullshit and this became her fashion show? So she invites Princess to be in, and Princess all like, well, I mean, is Tiara gonna step up to the place? She gonna have her shit together because I don't want to be associated with no whack shit. Bitch, this ain't even your show. This is Tiara shit. So like, how you gonna dictate what the fuck goes on? Now as far as this whole fashion show shit goes on, I felt like Hazel, yeah, it is business. Tiara shouldn't feel no type of way about you working with Princess. She shouldn't feel no type of way about you working with Princess. But she should feel some type of way if you trying to get her and Princess to work together on her shit and nobody tells her. That's the whole difference. Because even with last season when she worked with Berg, she stepped to her and told her, I'm going to work with Berg. This has nothing to do with you. I'm not involving you in this. I'm just doing business. She's totally separated the two. But with Hazel, she trying to be on some get back quick shit, some tit for tat bullshit, and it ain't right. Like, if you don't like her, if you don't see it for her, if you think she fucked Berg or whatever she supposedly did in the alleyway, then why the fuck are you even pretending to be this girlfriend? Why you got her laying up with you when your beak was broke and shit? She was your friend then, but now you don't want to have shit to do with her, and now you want to act funny and all this old bullshit. Like, grow the fuck up. You too goddamn old, Big Bird, for this foolishness. I didn't like it at all. So then we see Pierce Face, Willie, Fizz, and Nikki, and they having drinks. This is a whole nother concocted ass scene. They talking, and it ain't even 5 minutes of the conversation, and Nikki already talking about some, it was good seeing you, Willie, down at the strip club, this, and that. Your wife does a good job, with her tips. And he looking like, what you talking about? And it's just like, okay, all of a sudden now you are spilling the beans, and it was just so concocted and contrived, and it was just stupid. So they walk off. And Willie and Pierce Face get to arguing about her being a stripper again. And she fake getting mad and push him out the way. Like, oh my God, leave me alone. I can do what I want to do. I can take my top off for if I want to. You can't make me. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. And I'm like, oh girl, sit down somewhere. So then Willie put on a fake ass performance for a bunch of goddamn meat fillers. A bunch of goddamn me extras that Mona hired. And so next thing you know, we see the show is supposed to be over. Everybody done left the club, and this bitch standing outside the club, leaning up against the wall, supposedly crying. There's some thick ass tears, crying and shit, leaning up against the wall. And as she's crying, I'm looking at her like, okay, girl, where your purse at? Where your bag at? Where your phone at? How you outside crying with no personal phone? Like, where your shit at if this was supposed to be some real shit? Like, you gonna have your shit with you. Where your bag at, girl? Get the fuck out of here. Then she crying, and them some thick ass tears coming down her damn cheek. And I mean, her foundation, I didn't know what the fuck kind of foundation mama was wearing. That shit was thick as fuck. I'm like, bitch, you wearing claymation number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Like, girl, that wasn't no MAC. That wasn't no goddamn me Estee Lauder. That wasn't no cover girl. I don't know what the fuck. That was some old casket ready ass foundation. I was not here for her foundation routine at the fuck all. It looked like an oil paint when she was crying. I was like, girl, like she had been playing in mud. No, girl. So then Fitz. Lord, I ain't talking about scandal. Fizz meets up with Rich, and they have a whole conversation about, his existence in his son life. And I really love the way Fizz handled himself in that scene, because he really acted like a grown-ass man, and he stepped to Rich very respectively. He talked to him and let him know how he felt about some things, and he did it in the correct way. I love that young man. He is a perfect example of, if you're going to lay down and have a child with somebody, that's the type of man you lay down and have a child with. And so he basically says to Rich, if you're not serious about Monice, then you don't have no reason to be around my kid. And I 100% agree with that. So yes. So the last scene is they're at the fitting for this fashion show, and Tiara shows up, with some old paper ass patterns of these blaze hers. That's the horrible name. And so she's just not prepared. There was a stupid decision for her to get lipo before this fashion show. She should have did that shit before they fucking started filming. But I guess that was part of her storyline this year, because the season is almost over. And so everybody looking at her like, girl, where'd you go with these paper ass clothes, these paper Barbie doll clothes and shit? And so when she gets there, she's then informed by Nikki and Hazel that Princess will be a part of the fashion show and that all these other designers are a part of the fashion show. And so she looking like, wait a minute, this is me and Nikki thing. Since when all of a sudden have I been pushed out and now Hazel's running this shit and they making decisions without me? Which I 100% agree. If this was her and Nikki thing, then Nikki should have stepped to her and said, hey, I want to bring Hazel in to help us. And I'm thinking about, adding in some more designers and stuff like that. How do you feel about it? Nobody came to her and said that to her, which I would be mad about too. Like, that's fucked up. You don't do that. So naturally, Tiara, like, well, if Princess gonna be involved, I don't want to have shit to do with this because this is not my envision of what I had planned when me and Nikki started this thing. And so they say to her, well, if anybody should be mad, it should be Princess because she's willing to put her feelings aside after what you did to her to work with you. Let's get this straight. Her and Princess have done shit to each other. If you go back into the storyline, goddammit, Tiara was with Ray J. Ray J started cheating on her with Princess. Princess knew about Tiara. He left her for fucking Princess. Her and Princess got together. She was talking shit about this girl, talking about how she needed Monice, putting all her shit out there on blast, this, and that. And then shit, now Tiara retaliated. It's been a bunch of both of it's been a bunch of tit for tat shit on both their ends. Ain't neither one of them a goddamn be angel. But if you go back to the root of it, Princess started the shit. So at the end of the day, if I was Tiara, no, I wouldn't want to work with her ass either. We don't like each other, so why would we fucking work with each other? And so then Hazel get to go on some, you ain't been a friend to me because as far as I know, I ain't never fucked or sucked no nigga that you ever fucked with and this, and that. And it's like, girl, you have no proof that she fucked with Youngberg. And at the end of the day, like Tiara said to her in this scene, you was the stupid one for fucking with a nigga and claiming a nigga that never claimed you dumb bitch. And so I was 100% team Tiara on that shit because Hazel played herself. Like, get the fuck, why you still talking about Berg? This nigga ain't even on the show no more. He don't want you. He never liked you. He dogged the fuck out of you. That nigga shouldn't even be a topic of your conversation at this point. Like, you playing yourself. And if, like I said, if you think that she fucked this nigga, then stop fucking with her. Just stop fucking with her. Don't try to pretend like you her friend when it's convenient for you. Tiara, don't fuck with that bitch no more. Each one of you go into your own separate corners and go play in different sides of the fucking playground. Grow the fuck up, ladies. So that was my review of tonight's episode. Like I said, I give this shit an F because it was so fucking fake and scripted, and it just made me mad. So other than that, I'm cute. um Please like and subscribe and leave your comments below your thoughts on tonight's episode. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My information is in the description box. And yeah, you all have a great night. And I will see you all Wednesday for my Empire review. And I will see you all again Sunday for my Real Housewives of Atlanta review. Bye.